This is the On the Pony Express podcast, part of the On3 network. Check out all the SMU coverage you need at ontheponyexpress.com. Now, here's your host, Billy Embody. 1, 2, 3, let me go.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the On the Pony Express podcast. I'm Billy Embody. With me is Hayden Howerton. We've got a fun one for you today. Well, I should say you might not think it's that fun, but it's interesting because we talked to two players that played SMU this fall at the East-West Shrine Bowl, and we'll get to those interviews in just a moment. But first, we got to remind you guys that we are presented by Mark Villasana and Northwest Insurance Agency. Give Mark, an SMU alum, a call, 214-352-5656. He can walk you through your coverage, your rates, what you're paying, all the things that I certainly can't tell you about. And he will make sure you're getting the right coverage. And if he can do anything for you, he will. Email him as well, markv@nwagencies.com. He'll also talk a little SMU football with you because he is a proud SMU football supporter and, of course, a partner with us here at the On the Pony Express podcast. All right, Hayden, this first interview, Jalen Kimber, Penn State defensive back, a really interesting player because he's totally different in a way from the second interview, which is RJ Mickens, Clemson safety. Jalen Kimber is a guy that originally started out his career at Georgia, then went to Florida, then ended up at Penn State. And the tie here is that he is from Mansfield Timberview, and SMU has recruited that school a lot. And you would have thought that maybe there was a shot somehow that SMU would have nabbed Jalen Kimber from Georgia or from Florida. Well, he ends up going to Penn State, and he's not even going to use his 6 year of eligibility either, which really would have been the cherry on top if SMU could have added another corner in Jalen Kimber. But he is headed to the NFL, and I can tell you something. I've known this for a while about this guy, but he is fast, and he's somebody that with that speed could end up playing a long time in the league.
Not only is this guy fast, this is a guy that's extremely cerebral. As a guy that didn't spend a lot of time talking with DBs, hanging out with them, just, I was with the guys that were getting second and thirds at the team meals while these DBs are over, talking about coverages, doing all their deal. But anyway, I didn't realize before we talked with them just how complex some of these NFL coverages can be, depending on whether you're rolling to it, whether it's disguised as 42 and it's actually 24, whether if it's Tampa and you've got help from whether that's the linebacker or if it's not Tampa and your safety help. But this is a smart guy, and he was an SEC honor roll guy before he transferred to Penn State. But Billy, man, you said it. This guy can fly. And this is before he's going to spend the next 2 months training just to run a fast time at the combine. So he's going to be one of those guys that we're going to expect to run 4.3s, maybe high 4.2s. But you need that speed in the National Football League just because receivers have become such deep threats. You get all these really fast guys, these Danny Grays that are coming out. They can just take the top off the defense. So all these corners need to be able to be on an island and essentially backpedal at the same speed that these guys are running. And Jalen is going to be able to do that. Really special player for Penn State. It was not super fun to watch him, but he had a great career during his time at all of his schools. So we will be pulling for him at the next level just because he humored us and sat down with us for a few minutes.
Yeah, that was the thing about some of these interviews. We had to sit down and say, hey, all right, here's what we are. And they're probably like, who the hell are these guys? Yeah. But you broke the ice pretty well with all these guys with your East-West Shrine Bowl fraternity that you're able to, step up and tell everyone about. I can't, of course. But Jalen Kimber, he's got a lot of speed, but he talks really smooth. So we hope you enjoy this interview with Penn State defensive back Jalen Kimber. Welcome back. Now, happy to be joined by Penn State defensive back Jalen Kimber, somebody who you might be wondering, why is he on an SMU podcast right now? Well, we'll talk about SMU Penn State, but we really want to talk about your week here at the East-West Shrine Bowl. What's it like for you to come out here fresh off a season and get right back to work for this NFL process?
I'm extremely grateful that I had the opportunity to come out here and play. It didn't, like I said, I was telling him I was just a little rusty because I had 2 weeks off and, I was unwinding from the season. But, I didn't, I pretty much picked up where I left off. I'm just grateful to have an opportunity to come out here and compete with the best of the best.
You prepped at Mansfield Timberview.
Yeah.
So what's it like, the Texas high school football side of things, and how much did that prepare you looking back on going to college and your path to here?
Texas high school football helped me out a lot, and that was one of the main reasons why we moved to Texas. Originally, my family's from Chicago, and I moved to Texas right before I got to high school because football was something that I started taking very seriously and something that I ultimately wanted to do, like growing up and making it to the NFL, living out my dreams. So Texas high school football for me was like really the starting point of like really super competitive, like real competitive football for me. It helped me out a lot. You got super big high school stadiums. So, even though they don't compare to like college stadiums, it kind of preps you for what you're going to get yourself into when you step into the college stadiums.
How many tickets do you have for this game on Thursday night? You got all family coming from all over coming out?
Yeah, I got really just my immediate family. People got to go to work, so
I got you.
Yeah.
What was that first round game against SMU like? Take us behind the scenes maybe for your guys' preparation coming in and what made you guys so successful for the college football playoff.
First, it was extremely cool to be a part of the first like college football playoffs, how it is now. How we entered that game and the mindset that we had to that game was, we thought that they were going to emulate some of the things that Oregon did when we lost in the Big Ten championship, and that's kind of what they tried to come and do. And we were way more prepared for it when we played SMU, and we had all the answers that we needed to have versus some of the things that they, that was some of their strengths, which is tempo. We knew they were going to come out in tempo any time that they gained like more than 5 yards. We knew that they were going to come out in tempo and try to step on our toes and catch us off balance. So that was one of the biggest things for us, is making sure that we got a call in real fast, make sure that we were playing fast and our cleats were in the ground so that we could just go out there and play football and not have to make too many checks and have to worry about too many things. So that was something that was harped on us all week, that we harped on for the whole defense, and made sure that we were really upset about losing to Oregon the prior week before that. So we just had to make sure that we came out on our A game and do what we needed to do to come out with that win.
Kevin had the 3 interceptions for SMU. The red zone struggles were there for SMU. But what were your overall impressions of that team that came into Penn State? Just from our side of things on the podcast, just wanted to hear some of that.
My overall impressions were they competed to the end. Like, despite the score, they came out and competed to the end and were fighting all the way to the clock at 0. Kevin, he's a great player. He did some Houdini-ish things that we were ready for and we prepared for all week, and that we knew we had to stop. We knew that we just couldn't allow him to come out and create a second play with his legs, and that was the big thing with him. Like, his scramble drill and the things that he did after the play, if something might not have been open the first time, he created a whole nother second play, and that was one of the big things that we needed to stop, and that's what we pretty much did.
Now that you're done with college football and you're getting ready for this next phase of your career, what does your training look like? Where are you training at? What are some things that you're getting ready for Pro Day and Combine to do in preparation for the next step?
Really, right now, because like we were talking before, we started the interview. I'm just trying to get my body right because we just played 2 weeks ago, so I'm just trying to get my body feeling as good as it possibly can before the Pro Day. I'm also training in the Dallas area at Exos, so it's real convenient for me. I get to see my family. I still get to be around my family. It's not like I'm somewhere else where I don't get to be around them. And like I said, it's just real convenient. And I'm just prepping on running fast, showing everybody that I can run fast, and showing everybody how fluid I am within my drills and combine drills and things that I need to show that is going to benefit me in the long run.
You got a target time yet, or are you going to keep that under wraps?
I'm just going to run fast, man.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say, you've rolled ever since high school. Yeah, that speed that you display is something that's a key to your game. What are the under the radar things that you want to display this week to NFL teams?
That I'm just extremely technically sound, and then I'm smart at football, and I know the game, and I know how to take what they're teaching us in such a short time span and going out there and applying it. And that's just what I really want to be able to go out there and display. I just want to go out there and display that I'm coachable and that I'm really technically sound within my game. That's one thing that I think about my game is that's a plus, that I'm a technique first type of guy, and then I rely on my athletic ability second. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to it, and it's crunch time, and you're tired, the game's on the line, 9 times out of 10, you need to rely on your technique more than anything. So that's what I really try to, just rely on and make sure that I'm showing to these scouts that I'm technically sound and I'm able to be coachable and take the things that they're teaching us, like I said, in such a short amount of time and go out there and apply it to the field.
As you go into this process with the NFL teams, are there any that, you kind of sit back and say, man, it'd be sweet to land there, whether you would know some of the inner workings of some of these organizations or just teams that maybe you grew up a fan of?
Honestly, man, I just want the team to take a chance on me. It doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter where I land. I just want somebody that believes in me and is a fully they just, like I said, they just believe in me and just think that I can do it all for them, and that's all I need. I just need somebody to take a chance on me, and I'm just going to maximize that opportunity.
Is there anybody growing up that you modeled your game after?
Anybody? So I grew up a Tyrann Mathieu fan. Like, I love Tyrann Mathieu. Like, when I really started getting into football, I came across Tyrann Mathieu, and that was somebody that really made me love the game. And just the way he played. I don't want to say that we play the same, because we definitely do have different styles of play, but that's really who kicked it off for me. That's why I wore 7 in high school. And Tyrann Mathieu is somebody that, I love watching. He's an OG in the game now. But now that I get to sit back and watch football, that I think that kind of emulate my game, kind of like Stephon Gilmore. And I say that because he's so smart, and that's why he's been in the league for so long. So I just try to take that approach, just to make sure that I'm mentally in the game and knowing what I'm doing on every play, making sure that my IQ is right, and my technique is fundamentally sound. I'm just trying to make sure that I can be ahead of the play and then use my athletic ability after that. You know what I'm saying? Sure.
Well, congratulations on all the success. A great final year for you, Penn State. And
exactly.
As a former Texas high school football guy, we'll be watching and hoping for the best for you.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the On the Pony Express podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And now you get to hear from a guy who has been on the radar forever. I've known about RJ Mickens as long as I've known about Jonathan McGill and Preston Stone and all of those guys that were coming up, and all ended up being friends, and got to spend a lot of time around them. And RJ Mickens ends up going to Clemson. He was always heavily recruited. He was a big deal coming out of South Lake Carroll. He does know, obviously, some of the SMU guys and things like that. And I think this is a really good interview, because out of the guys we talked to, I think this might be the one that understands the pro-ness of being a pro maybe the most.
Yeah, I agree. It's easy to tell when guys have the maturity to go into these interviews and impress these scouts and general managers. And RJ Mickens certainly has that NFL legacy. He did have some help from his pops, playing in the NFL. So he's been around it a little bit. I'm sure he got some tips and tricks from his old man. But yeah, definitely just a guy that, while yes, heavily recruited, big-time player. He was one of my Clemson impact players for that game that we had against the Tigers. You can tell he's just going to be a guy that is going to understand and pick up this playbook really, really quickly, regardless of which franchise he ends up going to. So this was a fun interview as well. I'm really glad that he took the time to sit down with us. He did a group interview right before this where everybody was kind of getting one question, and we were like, hey, would you mind sitting with us? So we appreciate him taking the time to sit with us as well.
Yeah, like you said, his dad, Ray, really, kind of taught him everything he knows, but he's also worked out with a lot of great trainers throughout his career. So just an awesome dude. Really enjoyed my time getting to kind of full circle talk with RJ Mickens after interviewing him from time to time as a recruit. So time flies, but for RJ Mickens, he's hoping that his time in the NFL goes really slowly. So without any further ado, we go to our interview with RJ Mickens. Welcome back to the show. Happy to be joined now by former Southlake Carroll Dragon and Clemson Tiger defensive back, RJ Mickens. RJ, it's been a minute. We've known each other now for a long time, which makes me just feel a little bit older. But it's really cool to see you, obviously, here at the East-West Shrine Bowl, getting a chance to boost your draft stock. So congratulations on everything you've accomplished so far.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It's a blessing to be here from where I come from. Like, just all the ups and downs I had to face in college, especially making it to this level and getting to play in this game is a great opportunity for me.
You had a great career at Clemson. Obviously, you guys came away with the ACC championship. Let's go back to that game. What was that roller coaster of emotions like for you? We talked to Phil Maffa earlier today. The early first half lead, the comeback, the game-winning kick. What was that like?
It was a crazy game, and it was crazy that we made it to that game. It was nothing but God. We had lost to Georgia, and then we were all hanging our heads. Then we ended up losing to Louisville. We're like, all right, ACC playoffs, kind of out there, trying to be optimistic, but realizing that it's going to be tough. And then we lose to South Carolina, and we're like, all right, it didn't affect the ACC race, but the playoffs, we were like, all right, I guess it's kind of over with. And then just keeping a little bit of faith. There was a small chance, and Syracuse, Kyle's actually here. He came through for us. McCord beat Miami, got us in the ACC game, and we took advantage of the opportunity. Going into that game, we felt like we had to come out on top, and just everything we overcome. Everything happened for a reason. Those losses we had during the season to still be in that position against the number 8 or 7 team ranked in the country, SMU, you guys, it was just a great opportunity for us.
You played at Southlake Carroll, very historic high school football program. Can you talk about how that shaped your career?
Yeah, playing at Southlake was awesome. Learning from Hal Watson, Riley Dodge, some of my coaches over there, Coach Drake, all those guys, and then being able to play with great players like Quinn Ewers and Blake Smith and some of my other teammates that are still playing or that just got done playing in college. It was great, and everyone had the same mindset. Everyone was trying to go to the next level that was playing, and they ran their program almost like a college program, I could say.
So you're here this week at this game. What has impressed you the most, and what's something that surprised you about this week at East West Shrine?
Yeah, it's just impressed me how well everything's been ran. Everything's been ran to perfection. They're really doing their best, keeping us on schedule and having all these resources available to us. Everyone's here, every team's here, all the media's here. It's been great. It's been great being able to show people who you really are outside the uniform and on the field competing against the best athletes and the collegiate level and the collegiate level. It's just been awesome.
I played in this game, so I truly believe this is the best game.
Oh, for sure.
RJ, going back to that game against SMU, what were your impressions? You are an ACC vet. You went through the gamut, running through that conference for so long. SMU came in their first year. They made it to that championship game. What were your impressions of them after you got done playing them, and specifically Kevin Jennings, and kind of shed a little bit of light as a guy that knows a little bit about SMU?
I actually got some passes for him. It was crazy just this summer, and I'm friends with Preston Stone as well.
Yep.
And then Jonathan McGill's one of my really good best friends. Known him for a very long time. So and RJ Maryland, of course, went to my high school as well. So knowing some people on that team, and then a lot of my friends went to SMU. It was a personal game for me. I knew I had to play really well. And Kevin Jennings, is a great quarterback. And being a safety, that's kind of who you're going against. Quarterback, tight ends, running back, slot, all receivers. I mean, you're going against everybody at safety. But, quarterback's your direct matchup. And knowing how special he was as a runner and as a thrower, the future's really bright for him. He really took advantage of his opportunity and made the most of it. And the future's bright for him and for that program.
In that Clemson game, I had you as one of the impact players for that Clemson defense. Can you talk about some of the other guys that come this time next year or even in this draft that you expect to be top NFL players?
Yeah, my other safety, I thought he don't get the recognition that he deserves, but Khalil Barnes, he actually came up big. He had an interception in that game. It kind of kept our early momentum rolling that we had. And then T.J. Parker, of course, everyone knows him. He's a dog. He's a real dog, T.J. Parker. And then Ashton Hampton, our corner, he played really well. You guys had a really explosive offense, and we limited that until late in the game. Started giving up some stupid stuff, but it was a great game, and we love playing in Charlotte. I'm 2-0 up there, or not 2-0. I'm 2-1, lost to Georgia, but I love playing up there. It's awesome.
Is there anybody growing up? There's a lot of great NFL DBs. Who did you model your game after?
I would say I model my game after Kyle Hamilton. I feel like we both have a similar, slender, like long arm build, and like being around the football. We're post, blitzing in the box, wherever that is, covering tight ends, covering slots if we have to, being great and smart, instinctual around the football, flying around, tackling, open field tackling. I feel like something I pride myself in and try to be the best at, and it's not easy to do. So.
Well, both you and Kyle are huge students of the game. What is that maturity and level of commitment to that piece of the game, especially off the field, take, just as a player, to be that in love with the game, really?
Yeah, you realize everything you do is competition. Literally, your competition is either you're getting up in them on something or they're getting up on you on something. So you drink water, they drink Gatorade, you getting up on them. Gatorade got sugar, you don't need sugar at the time, you're both not doing nothing. So literally everything is it literally comes down to the smallest things. Like you working out for 2 hours, he's working out for an hour, you up on him. Or you watch 4 games of film, he watched 3 games of film on y'all, you got the advantage. So everything's an advantage. That's the biggest difference at this level.
Well, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're looking forward to watching you in your NFL career. I think you've got tenure type of vet, written all over you with your approach to the game. So good luck this week and enjoy the process.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
2 great interviews for you guys today. So we hope you enjoyed them. We are going to drop the final piece of our interviews only podcast next week. 2 guys that did not play in the East-West Shrine Bowl that were recovering from injuries, but I can tell you, these 2, I think we saved the best for last. So that's all we're going to say. Stay tuned. Later on, we'll drop these interviews on the Pony Express feed. And do want to remind you guys that you should head to statusjet.com to check out what they can offer you now that the 2025 schedule is revealed. Plus, SMU basketball still rolling on, and you guys need to get with them on your travel plans for some of these away games as well. Think about flying directly into Notre Dame. That would be huge. Going right into South Bend. Mention on the Pony Express or our code PonyUpACC for a discount on a round-trip flight, and Status Jet will take care of you guys. So appreciate their support of the On the Pony Express podcast. Appreciate all of you guys who listen to us over here on the On the Pony Express podcast. But make sure you subscribe to our website. $1 for your first week to get all the intel on how these guys are doing in spring workouts. Got recruiting going on. Check out the website on theponyexpress.com. So for Hayden Howerton, I'm Billy Embody. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for listening to the On the Pony Express podcast with Billy Embody. Follow us on your socials on X at SMU on3 and on Instagram at On3SMU. And keep it locked to OnThePonyExpress.com for more coverage.